You announce you're changing. You tell everyone about your new diet, your morning routine, your goals for the year, and something strange happens. The moment you declare it, it starts dying. The energy you spent announcing is energy you didn't spend doing. And the people you told? Some of them, consciously or not, start working against you. We think sharing our goals creates accountability. But the Stoics knew something different. Announcing your transformation gives you the satisfaction of change without the work of changing. You get the social reward, the praise, the encouragement, the validation before you've done anything. And that reward kills your motivation to actually do it. Your brain thinks you've already succeeded just because you declared the intent. Meanwhile, the people you told are either skeptical, threatened by your potential growth, or secretly hoping you fail so they don't have to examine their own stagnation. Real change happens in silence. It's only revealed through results. This isn't about being secretive or deceptive. It's about protecting your transformation from forces that will kill it, including your own need for validation. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Don't tell people you're changing, just change. Let them notice when you're already different. Today, I'll walk you through 10 things you must quietly eliminate from your life. Not announce you're eliminating, not explain why you're eliminating, just silently remove while everyone's watching something else. Number 7 is the one most people get backwards. They think talking about eliminating it counts as progress. It doesn't. Silence is the work. By the end, you'll understand why the most powerful transformations happen in private and how to execute yours without anyone knowing until it's already done. If you're ready to change without announcing, if you want transformation that's real instead of performed, let's begin. Thing number 1, complaining. Complaining feels like you're addressing a problem, but you're not. You're just releasing pressure without solving anything, and every complaint trains your brain to see problems without looking for solutions. You complain about traffic, about your job, about the weather, about people, and nothing changes except you. You become someone who defaults to dissatisfaction, someone exhausting to be around, someone who drains energy from every room they enter. Here's why you must eliminate it silently. If you announce, I'm not complaining anymore, people will test you immediately. They'll bring problems to see if you'll break. They'll complain at you to pull you back in. Because misery loves company, and your silence about their complaints feels like judgment. So don't announce it, just stop. When a complaint forms in your mind, pause. Ask yourself 2 questions. Can I fix this? Will saying it help? If yes to either, state the problem and propose a solution. That's not complaining, that's problem solving. If no to both, stay silent. Redirect that energy somewhere useful. The urge to complain will come dozens of times a day at first. Traffic, your co-workers' incompetence, the long line at the store. Each time, notice it. Don't speak it. Let it die in your mind instead of escaping through your mouth. What happens over the next few months is subtle. Your co-workers still complain about the boss, but when they look to you for agreement, you just nod and change the subject. Yeah, that's frustrating. Anyway, did you see the update on the project? They start to notice. You're not feeding the negativity anymore. They don't know you made a conscious decision to stop complaining. They just notice you're different, calmer, less reactive, more solution-focused. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The traffic isn't in your power. Your reaction to it is. Complaining is choosing to be controlled by what you can't control. Silence is choosing power over your own mind. Don't tell anyone you've stopped complaining. Just stop. Let them wonder why you're suddenly so unbothered by things that used to make you rant for 20 minutes. That confusion, that quiet noticing, That's the evidence your transformation is real. The second thing to eliminate is heavier. It's about the people themselves. Thing number 2, toxic relationships. Watch how you feel after spending time with certain people. Drained, smaller, like your energy just walked out the door with them. That's not coincidence. That's toxicity. The friend who only appears when they need something. The family member who turns every conversation into a reminder of your failures. The person who makes you feel less capable, less confident, less yourself every single time you interact. You already know who they are. You've known for months, maybe years, but you stay. History keeps you there. Guilt keeps you there. The fear of seeming cruel keeps you there. Meanwhile, every hour you give them is an hour stolen from people who actually add to your life. Energy is finite. Relationships that drain you don't just waste your time. They poison the time you have left for everything else. Announcing, "I'm cutting toxic people out," creates exactly what you're trying to escape: drama. They'll demand to know if they're the toxic one. They'll defend themselves, recruit mutual friends, guilt-trip you until you're the villain in a story about protecting yourself. Don't hand them that narrative. Watch someone who's mastered this. They don't confront. They fade. Calls go unreturned for hours, then days. Busy becomes their default state. Texts get shorter. "Hey, swamped lately. Hope you're good." Then silence. Weeks pass, then months. The relationship doesn't explode. It evaporates. No fight, no explanation. Just distance that grew while the other person wasn't paying attention. Eventually, one might notice. "Everything okay?" You've been distant. Here's the entire response. "Yeah, just really focused on some things." That's it. Vague, true. Conversation ending. If they push, repeat it. Eventually, they stop asking. Seneca spent years surrounded by people who wanted to use his wealth, his influence, his name. He learned to measure relationships by a simple standard. Associate with people who are likely to improve you. He didn't add what's equally true: quietly disassociate from people certain to diminish you. Not with announcements, with distance. 6 months later, they're simply gone. Someone asks what happened. You shrug. "We grew apart." The truth: you grew. They didn't. Growth doesn't require an explanation. If you've already started eliminating something from this list, and you did it without telling anyone, comment "Silence is strength" below, not to announce what you're eliminating, not to explain your progress, just to acknowledge that you understand. Real transformation doesn't need an audience. The work speaks louder than the announcement ever could. The third thing to eliminate is something you're probably doing right now, and it's stealing hours of your life every single day. Thing number 3, social media addiction. 30 minutes vanished. You picked up your phone to check one notification. Now you're scrolling through a stranger's vacation photos from 3 years ago, feeling vaguely inadequate about your own life. You know what this is: the compulsive checking, the fractured attention, the performing instead of living. The addiction that fragments your mind into 1,000 tiny pieces, none of them present, all of them comparing. Your thumb keeps opening the app even when your brain knows better. Social media doesn't just steal time, it steals the quality of your attention. You can't focus on anything for more than 90 seconds anymore, can't read a full article, can't have a conversation without checking your phone, can't sit with your own thoughts without reaching for digital noise. Every scroll fragments you further, and you're trading deep focus, the kind that builds things, creates things, understands things, for shallow hits of novelty that evaporate the moment you swipe past them. Delete the apps. No farewell post, no taking a break announcement. The most ironic thing you can do is use the platform to declare you're leaving the platform. Just delete it. Let your absence speak. Your thumb will betray you. Dozens of times a day, muscle memory will reach for the app that isn't there anymore. You'll tap empty space. Feel the phantom urge. Good. That discomfort is your brain revealing exactly how deep the addiction runs. Sit with it. Let it be uncomfortable. That's clarity arriving. 3 months later, someone notices you're still alive. Haven't seen you post. You been busy. No details, no manifesto about reclaiming attention. Just 2 words that end the inquiry. What they actually notice isn't your absence online, it's your presence in person. When you're with them now, you're there. Not performing the interaction for an audience, not half present, half scrolling, just there, whole, focused. It's so rare they don't know how to name it, but they feel it. Marcus spent his life trying to stay present. Confine yourself to the present, he wrote it obsessively, like a man fighting his own distraction. Every scroll is the opposite, pulling you out of the only moment you have into performed moments that already passed. Stop announcing your departure from the performance. Just leave, quietly. While they're still scrolling, you're living. The 4th thing to eliminate is something you probably do every single day without realizing it's keeping you from growing. Thing number 4, excuses. What's the difference between a reason and an excuse? Reasons move you forward. Excuses keep you comfortable. I was going to work out, but I had a long day. I was going to call, but things got busy. I would have finished, but something came up. Listen to the pattern. Every excuse is a negotiation with yourself about why you don't have to be accountable. And every time you accept one, you're training, teaching your brain that there's always an out. That discomfort is optional, that you can promise and not deliver as long as the story sounds good enough. Your brain rewards excuses. They protect your ego. They let you fail without feeling like a failure. But here's the cost. Every excuse you make rewrites your identity. You become someone whose word means nothing, someone who explains instead of executes, someone exhausting to rely on because everyone knows your commitments come with an asterisk and a story about why circumstances made it impossible. Don't declare you're done making excuses. That's just another promise about future behavior that lets you dodge responsibility for past behavior. Skip the announcement. Next time you fail to follow through, watch the excuse form. It'll be ready instantly, polished, convincing, legitimate. The traffic was real. The unexpected thing actually happened. The reason sounds solid. Notice it forming, then swallow it. Someone asks if you finished what you promised. The explanation is sitting on your tongue, ready to deploy. Don't. No, I'll have it done by Friday. 3 parts: acknowledgement, correction, nothing else. It feels naked, vulnerable, like admitting weakness. You're not. You're demonstrating something rare, accountability without performance. Most people can't do this. Their ego won't let them own failure without dressing it up in circumstances. Watch what happens over months. People start trusting your word more, not less. When you say you'll do something and don't, you own it immediately and fix it fast. No theater, no elaborate explanation about forces beyond your control, just ownership. And ownership, even in failure, builds trust that the best excuse never could. Because excuses are about you protecting yourself. Ownership is about you respecting them enough to tell the truth without decoration. Epictetus spent his life watching people explain why they couldn't live according to their values. Always circumstances, always external forces, always reasons why philosophy was beautiful in theory but impossible in practice. He stopped listening to the explanations and watched the pattern. Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Every excuse is an explanation for why you're not being who you claim to be. Stop explaining, start being. When you fail, and you will, own it in 5 words or less. Save your energy for the correction, not the story. Ready for number 5? This one involves people who don't matter taking hours you'll never get back. Thing number 5. Meaningless small talk. 15 minutes evaporated. You're trapped nodding about the weather with someone whose name you barely remember, watching your life drain away one crazy traffic right at a time. This isn't connection, it's filler, sociability, theatre. And every minute here, pretending observations about weather qualify as conversation, is a minute not spent on work that matters, people who matter, thoughts that matter. The problem isn't that small talk is evil. It's that it's socially acceptable. No one will call you out for wasting your life on it. Society actually rewards you for being good at it. Time is the only resource you can't recover. You can make more money. You can rebuild relationships. You can learn new skills. But the 15 minutes you just spent discussing grocery store parking, gone. Forever. Traded for nothing. And the terrible part is how it adds up. 15 minutes here, 10 minutes there. By the end of the year, you've given dozens of hours to people you don't care about, discussing things neither of you will remember tomorrow. You don't announce, "I don't do small talk anymore." That makes you sound pretentious, makes you a target. Just become mysteriously brief. Neighbor approaches with weather commentary. You, "Yeah, wild. Hey, I'm actually heading out. Good seeing you." Keep moving, don't stop. Don't create space for follow-up. Deliver it warmly enough that you're not rude, briefly enough that you're gone in 60 seconds. Every single time, they'll learn. Not because you explained your new philosophy on valuable time, because you showed them a pattern. What you're actually doing is training everyone around you that conversations with you have value because they're selective. You're not available for filler. They'll stop trying to catch you for nothing. Some will be confused, some will be offended. Most will just adjust. And 6 months later, you have hours back. Dozens of them. Reclaimed from weather discussions and traffic complaints and observations about how long the line is at the coffee shop. Seneca spent his final years obsessing over one question. Where does time actually go? He tracked it like a detective and found it stolen by obligations we never wanted, conversations we never valued, moments we surrendered because saying no felt uncomfortable. He wrote, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." 20 centuries later, people are still giving their lives away to small talk with strangers. Don't be another one. If this is helping you see what to eliminate and how to do it silently, subscribe so you don't lose this channel. Your like pushes this to the next person who needs a way to change without announcing it. This next elimination, most people refuse because their ego can't handle it. Thing number 6, the need to be right. Someone's wrong. Completely, obviously wrong. You can feel the correction forming on your tongue, ready, sharp, accurate. You jump in. Actually, 10 minutes later, they're still wrong. They've just dug in harder. Your facts didn't change their mind. Your logic didn't persuade them. All you did was waste energy proving something to someone who didn't want to know the truth. They wanted to be comfortable in their wrongness. And you interrupted that comfort, so now they're defensive. Nobody won. Your correctness didn't matter. Their wrongness didn't change, but your time, gone. Being right and being effective are different games. You can dominate at one while losing completely at the other. Every argument you need to win is a confession. You need their validation of your correctness. Their wrong opinion threatens something in you. It shouldn't. They can be wrong about the moon landing, about history, about whatever they're confidently incorrect about. Their wrongness doesn't diminish your rightness. It's just noise. Let it be noise. Here's the filter that changes everything. Does correcting them matter? Not to your ego, to reality. Will their wrongness cause harm? Will accuracy change an important decision? Will truth have consequences beyond making you feel superior for 30 seconds? Run every potential correction through this. You'll find that 95% of the time, it doesn't matter. They'll be wrong whether you correct them or not. Your correction won't enlighten them. It'll trigger defensiveness. They'll dig in. You'll get frustrated. Everyone loses except your ego, which gets a brief hit of superiority before the emptiness returns. Stay quiet, or say maybe, and let the conversation move. Save your corrections for the 5% that actually matters, when someone's about to make a harmful decision based on false information, when misinformation is spreading and could hurt someone, when accuracy has real stakes. Everything else? Not your job. Their wrongness is their problem. Your peace is yours to protect. Watch what happens when you stop. You're suddenly less exhausting to be around. People relax near you because they're not constantly bracing for correction. Conversations flow because you're not the accuracy police anymore. And here's the strange part. When you do correct something in that rare 5%, people actually listen. Because you've built credibility through silence. You're not the person who corrects everything, so when you do speak up, they know it matters. Marcus Aurelius sat in rooms full of people who were wrong about nearly everything. Politics, philosophy, basic reality. He could have spent his reign correcting them. He chose differently. The best revenge is not to be like that. Let them be wrong. Keep your energy. Protect your peace. Being right costs nothing. Needing everyone to know you're right costs everything. Number 7 is the one I warned you about at the start. Everyone gets this backwards. Thing number 7. Talking about your goals. You set a goal, something real, something that matters, and immediately, before you've done any actual work, you tell people, I'm writing a book, I'm getting in shape, I'm starting a business. It feels productive, like declaring it makes it more real, more inevitable. But watch what happens next. Your motivation evaporates, not slowly, instantly. The moment you announced it, you killed it. Your brain just got played. When you tell someone your goal, dopamine floods your system. They respond with praise, encouragement, validation. That's amazing. I'm so proud of you. Can't wait to see it. Your brain receives the social reward, the recognition of achievement. Before you've achieved anything, you got the drug without doing the work, and now your brain has no reason to push you toward the actual goal. Why would it? It already got what it wanted. The announcement satisfied the craving. The work became optional. Studies confirm what the Stoics knew 2,000 years ago. People who announce their goals are statistically less likely to achieve them. The announcement steals the motivation. You told 10 people you're writing a book. In their minds, you're already a writer. They treat you like you've done something significant, except you haven't. You just talked. But the social validation made it feel like accomplishment. So why sit down and write? You already got the feeling you were chasing. And there's a second trap. People sabotage, not always maliciously. But when you announce you're improving, you threaten everyone comfortable staying the same. Your transformation makes their stagnation visible, so they undermine. Isn't that ambitious? Those things rarely work. Remember last time you tried something like this? They're protecting their comfort by keeping you at their level. Your announcement invited their resistance. Work in silence. Set the goal. Tell no one. Maybe one person. Someone who'll hold you accountable privately, not perform support publicly. Then disappear into the work. 6 months, a year, however long it takes. No updates, no progress posts, no fishing for encouragement. Just work that nobody sees until it's finished. Then complete it. Publish the book. Launch the business. Show up transformed. Let the results announce what your mouth never should have. When they ask, when did you do this? You smile. Been working on it. That's all. The work was done in private. The results speak in public. That's the order. Reverse it, and you get performance instead of progress. Epictetus watched people announce philosophy for decades while living none of it. He got tired of the performance. First, say to yourself what you would be. Then do what you have to do. Say it to yourself, not to Instagram, not to your friends, not to anyone who'll give you credit for intention instead of execution. Tell yourself, then shut up and work. The silence protects the work. The work earns the announcement. Do it backwards and you get neither. If you just realized you've been doing number 7 wrong your entire life, announcing goals instead of achieving them, subscribe now before you forget this channel exists. Like this video so the algorithm shows it to someone else who's tired of performing change instead of making it. Next, something you're doing in your head that's keeping you chained to people who don't deserve a single thought. Thing number 8, revenge fantasies. Late at night, you replay it. The betrayal, the humiliation, the injustice. Except in your version, you win. You imagine the perfect comeback, the moment they realize what they lost, the karma that makes them suffer exactly the way they made you suffer. The fantasy feels powerful, feels like justice. It's not. It's a chain. And every minute you spend imagining their destruction is a minute they're still controlling you from a distance, living rent-free in the space where your future should be. They hurt you once. That's on them. You're hurting yourself repeatedly by refusing to let it go. That's on you. Revenge fantasies are comfortable because they let you feel like you're doing something about the wrong without actually doing anything. You're not healing, you're not building, you're not moving forward. You're just rehearsing a confrontation that will never happen, directing a movie that will never premiere, giving mental energy to someone who probably isn't thinking about you at all. They're out there living. You're here, stuck, replaying their face while they've forgotten yours. Here's what these fantasies cost: your future. Every mental cycle spent on their downfall is a cycle not spent on your rise. Every ounce of energy directed at imagining their suffering is energy stolen from building something that matters. They took something from you once. You're letting them take everything by keeping them center stage in your mind. The fantasy makes you feel powerful, but power that lives only in imagination is just another word for powerless. You don't forgive them publicly. Don't send the message saying, "I forgive you," to give them closure they haven't earned. Just stop giving them real estate in your head. When the fantasy starts, and it will, the pattern runs deep. Notice it. Name it. There's that thought again. Then redirect. What am I building? Where am I going? What does my future look like when they're not in it? Replace their face with your goals. Do this 50 times. 100, however many it takes. Eventually, they just fade. Marcus Aurelius knew betrayal intimately. People he trusted wanted him dead. He could have spent his reign plotting revenge. Instead, he wrote one line that ended the cycle. The best revenge is not to be like that. Don't become the thing that hurt you. Don't let their worst moment define your next decade. They hurt you. You healed. You moved on. They became irrelevant. That's not forgiveness. That's victory. Months later, you realize you haven't thought about them in weeks. They just evaporated. No ceremony, no closure conversation, no moment where you consciously decided to let it go. You just built a life so full that there was no space left for them. They disappeared not because you forgave them, because you forgot them. And forgetting them is the ultimate revenge they'll never know about. Number 9 involves something you might be using right now to avoid feeling what you need to feel. Thing number 9, alcohol or any substance you use to escape. You're not drinking to enjoy it. You're drinking to escape, to numb, to make the day tolerable, the social situation bearable, the discomfort disappear for a few hours. And here's how you know the difference. Enjoyment is optional. Escape feels necessary. If you need it to relax, to socialize, to cope with stress, it's not a choice anymore. It's a dependency. And dependency, no matter how socially acceptable, is control you've surrendered to a substance instead of keeping for yourself. The problem isn't having a drink. It's needing one. The problem isn't the substance. It's what you're using it to avoid. Feelings you don't want to feel, thoughts you don't want to think, reality you don't want to face. Every time you reach for it to escape, you're training yourself that discomfort is unacceptable, that sobriety is unbearable, that you can't handle your own mind without chemical assistance. and that training compounds. What started as occasional relief becomes constant need. You're not in control anymore. The substance is. Stop using it. Not forever, necessarily, but long enough to know you can. Long enough to sit with discomfort without reaching for an exit. Long enough to socialize sober, to relax without numbing, to face your thoughts without dulling them. Most people can't. They'll tell you they could stop any time. They never do. Because admitting they need it means admitting they've lost control. So they keep reaching for it while insisting it's a choice. Don't announce you're quitting. That invites pressure, questioning, people insisting just one won't hurt. At social events, order water. If someone asks, not drinking tonight, not anymore, tonight. Keeps it simple, avoids the conversation about why. Do this every time. They'll notice eventually. You don't drink, you can tell the truth or deflect. Either way, by then the pattern is established. You've already proven to yourself you don't need it. Seneca wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If you can't go a month without something, you're not free. You're managed by whatever you can't put down. The substance owns a piece of you. Taking it back doesn't require announcements or explanations. Just the decision to stop reaching for escape and start sitting with what you were running from. 6 months later, you're clear. Not because you announced sobriety, because you chose it daily without performing the choice. People notice you're different, calmer, sharper, more present. They don't know what changed. You do. You stopped letting a substance decide when you got to feel okay. You took that power back, and you did it so quietly they didn't even see you fighting. The final thing to eliminate is the hardest. It's not a habit or a substance. It's who you used to be. Thing number 10. The old version of yourself. The hardest thing to eliminate isn't a behavior, it's an identity. The old version of yourself, the one people remember, the one they expect, the one you've outgrown but keep performing because letting it die feels like betrayal. You were the funny one, the mess, the pessimist, the doormat, the party friend. That person served a function, gave you belonging, made you predictable, safe, easy to categorize. But you're not that anymore. Or you don't want to be. Yet you keep playing the role because everyone around you needs you to stay in character. Their comfort depends on your consistency. Here's the trap. You can't become who you're meant to be while dragging who you were. Growth requires killing old identities, not announcing their death, not explaining why the old you is gone, just stopping the performance. When they expect the old behavior, you don't deliver it. When they reference the old stories, you don't tell them. When they say you've changed, you don't defend it. You just say, "Yeah, I guess I have," and let them sit with that. They'll resist. What happened to you? You used to be fun. I miss the old you. Translation: I miss the version of you that made me comfortable, the version that stayed small so I didn't have to examine why I'm staying small. Your growth is a mirror they don't want to look into. Don't dim your light to ease their discomfort. They'll adjust or they'll leave. Either way, you keep growing. Stop doing what the old you would do even when people expect it. Stop telling stories about who you were as if that's who you still are. Stop explaining the transformation like you need permission for it. The old version doesn't deserve a eulogy or a defense. It just needs to be replaced. Not with announcements. With different actions, repeated consistently until people realize the person they're talking to isn't the person they remember. Marcus Aurelius understood this completely. He was born into one identity, nephew of the emperor, destined for comfort. He became something else. Philosopher, reluctant ruler, stoic in power. He didn't announce the transformation. He embodied it. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, not what you were, not what people expect, what you actually are now. Months pass. They stop expecting the old version. They've learned the new pattern. You don't respond to drama anymore. You don't show up to parties. You don't laugh at jokes that used to make you laugh. You're different, and they can either accept the new version or lose access entirely. Most adjust. Some leave. You let them. Because keeping people who only loved the old you means staying old forever. And you didn't do all this work. Eliminating, complaining, toxic people, social media, excuses, small talk, the need to be right, announcing goals, revenge fantasies, substances, and finally yourself, just to go back because someone misses who you were. The old you is dead. Don't tell anyone, just be the new one. Let them figure it out. Not one of them requires an announcement. Not one needs explanation. You just remove them. Silently. While everyone's distracted by their own noise, you're dismantling everything that's been holding you back. And they won't notice until the work is done. Until you're already different. Until the results are undeniable. Epictetus was right. Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Don't tell people you're changing. Just change. Let them wonder why you're suddenly calmer, more focused, less available for their chaos. Let your transformation confuse them. By the time they figure out what you did, you'll already be someone they barely recognize. The loudest transformations happen in silence. Start eliminating. Stop announcing. If this gave you the map, subscribe so you don't lose it. Your like pushes this to someone else who needs a way to change without performing it. The work is done quietly. The results speak loudly. Begin.